Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. My name is Khalif Shabazz. I'm the chairman of the Planning and Development Committee for the City Council of Atlantic City. And today is the second of our planning and development updates that we have here the last Wednesday in the month at 12 o'clock. And Levi Bell has reminded me that it's 12 o'clock, so we start on time. We are very happy today to have Hard Rock here. Some of the principals in the Hard Rock Casino, which is going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars developing Atlantic City, and we're glad that they believe in Atlantic City and that they see that Atlantic City is a place to invest. And we're just overjoyed and excited for the presence that they're going to bring. Let me just say what we are going to do here tonight, this afternoon rather. We're going to have the presentation by the Hard Rock gentleman. It's going to start off with Joe Gingoli, then Matt Harkness, who is the president, then Mr. Robert Lee, who is the outreach director. Again, the purpose of the updates is to give the public information about development in Atlantic City. And after their presentation, we're going to take questions. They're going to take questions on their development. And the questions that are generated from the audience, obviously you can ask whatever you want to ask with regard to the development of Hard Rock. And I stress that because I know it's nobody in this audience, but sometimes people come to meetings and they see the press there and they see a camera and they think that that is the opportunity for them to speak on whatever their pet issue is or whatever their cause is. And we would just admonish you that we're not going to do that this evening, this afternoon. This meeting is specifically and only for Hard Rock. Hard Rock is going to make their presentation. After they make their presentation, we're going to ask for questions related to Hard Rock only. So without that, having said that, again, thank you all for coming out. We appreciate it. Let me do a quick commercial. Next month, Joe, we're going to have Mr. Wasim Boré. Wasim Boré is the developer of developer of the beach at South Inlet, which is going up now, is a 250-unit market rate apartment. And let me just recognize, everybody's important, but let me just recognize Matt Dowry, who is the new executive director of CRDA. We want to introduce him and thank him for coming, and also my good friend, the 10th councilman in Atlantic City, Tim Cunningham from the Department of Community Affairs. So, that's an honorary title, Mr. Goodman, 10th council. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to starting off with Joe Gingoli, who was one of the principals in Hard Rock. Joe Gingoli.
Thank you, Councilman. Really wanted to thank Councilman Shabazz for having us here today, having the Hard Rock come and speak in front of our neighbors, our city. Atlantic City is my second home and has been for a long time, so it's really nice to be here. Our story, and our story of how we are where we are today is really about the coordination, working together, teamwork between the city, the state, the different branches of government, the CRDA working very closely with us, DCA. We are moving at a pace that is pretty much unheard of, and we are going to be open here in the next few months. I'll leave that up to Matt. I'm only allowed to say certain things, and so I won't get myself in trouble here in a public forum. But we have over 800 construction workers right now, men and women in our building, organized labor. Couldn't do it without them. We have a great partnership with Local 54, and a few of the things that we have done that I don't believe has been done anywhere else in the United States to date. We changed the name of drug court in Atlantic County. Atlantic County Drug Court and Atlantic County area has the #1 amount of overdoses from opioids in New Jersey. And how do we stop that? We have a very active drug court program that is now called Recovery Court in partnership with the judiciary, our industry. those folks who graduate now have an opportunity to be trained, Local 54, and come into our industry. No longer will that stigma of a disease carry them. They will now be known for their recovery, not for what happened in their past. And as happening as we speak, 5 graduates right now are working in our industry and for us, and many more will be coming through in that partnership. And it's something that we're really proud of. And it's kind of who we are, and it's kind of who our city is. You know, we're about redemption, we're about change, and this is about Atlantic City and its new rendition. We're going to be. I really want to turn it over. This is going to be about question and answers today, so not a lot of speeches. I want to turn this over to our property president, Matt Harkness. He's going to tell you all the things that we are allowed to say in public, and then he'll turn it over. Yes.
Thank you, Joe. I can tell you that this is a pleasure to be invited by the councilman to come to this meeting and have the opportunity to talk about the things that are occurring. Obviously, one of the bigger developments that's occurring in New Jersey right now is Hard Rock, much less in Atlantic City. So the process is going along extremely well. Joe touched on the construction, the number of people that are there. It's a very, very busy place. You go in there and there is literally hundreds of people all over the place doing a ton of work to get the place to look like what it's going to look like as its final product. And what I can tell you is, and I've said this in the past, is that every inch of that building is being redone. The casino, the restaurants, it's down to the cement, the ceilings are completely being redone. It will look like a completely transformed building from what it was in the past. It will truly be a Hard Rock property. So part of that process, obviously, is hiring people. We've been doing a lot of job fairs. Those job fairs have been extremely successful. It's been a great opportunity to talk to people that are excited about the brand, excited about coming to work at the property that we're putting together as I speak. It's going to be 3,000 plus people that are part of that process. That's in addition to the people that are doing the construction. So it's a lot of people, it's a lot of process, but to an end that I think is going to be extremely positive for the city, for the state, and for the people that work there as well. So very, very positive thing. And part of the part that I really get the most out of personally is the commitment that Hard Rock makes to being a good neighbor and a good citizen. That type of philanthropy, call it, the altruism that is not always seen in corporate America, is something that Hard Rock believes very strongly in, that the Gingoli family feels very strongly in, and the Morris family feels strongly in. And it's things that are not just writing checks, it's getting involved down to the grassroots. And the types of programs that are coming together as a part of this process are really going into the neighborhoods. And I'm really proud to be a part of that. And part of that process is it became very clear to me fairly quickly that that's not a part-time job for people that work in our property. We were all getting involved in it. We'll all continue to be involved in part of that process with community outreach, but we realized very quickly that this is a full-time job. And when you're looking for good people, you generally steal from other people that the person is working for and doing a great job, and that's exactly what we did. We stole a person who was working for one of the owners, Gingoli. A gentleman by the name of Rob Lee is going to be our new Vice President of Community Relations and Governmental Affairs. I would say thank you to Joe, but that probably wouldn't go over so well. But all kidding aside, it was something that we've been talking about for a while. You talk about the obvious choice. This gentleman is the obvious choice to be representing what we're doing here to the community, as well as to the government officials that we deal with on a regular basis as part of our normal job. So, Rob, I'll take it to you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'm excited about the position. I know some of you know me because we've been down here for about 5 years now, and being involved with the hiring process on our other project, the Stockton Gateway project. So goals is to definitely be a part of the community, continue to be a part of the community, you will see my face in this community. Any questions you have, if I don't have the answer, I'll take it back and I'll get the answer for you. But I'm excited. We're ready to support some of the organizations that are here. We're ready to support some of your local small minority women-owned businesses that are here in Atlantic City, and we're ready to support the residents of Atlantic City. So thank you very much.
Okay. Congratulations, Mr. Vice President. See, that's why you should come to the planning updates, because you get announcements that you don't hear anywhere else. This is the first place this announcement's been made. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
So thank you. Okay. Before we open it up for questions, let me just say this about Joe Gingoli. I happen to be the council person in the 3rd Ward. In the 3rd Ward, we have a place called Turning Point. And Turning Point is a day center for people who are either homeless or in desperate situations. And it opened on August 1st. Reverend Days is the driving factor in the opening and the operation of Turning Point. It's run by volunteers and people from various faith groups who give their time and donate clothes and food and things like this. They had a problem with regard to paying the rent. And Joe Gingoli had just come to town, and we set up a meeting and explained to him the situation. And without hesitation, he wrote 2 checks for a sizable amount, which enabled them to come current on their rent. And in addition to that, he said that he would lead an effort among other business leaders to help them going forward with their operating costs. Why is this important? This is important because many of these gentlemen who are in unfortunate circumstances, if they were not in Turning Point getting training and getting services, they would be in businesses, they would be in the community, they would be in Browns Park, and I don't have to tell those of you who are local know how we turn Browns Park around. They would be hanging out there. So that is a tremendous addition to this community. And tonight at 5 o'clock, I'm introducing a resolution I'm sure all the council is going to support to thank Joe Gingoli for that formally. So I just wanted to announce that to you. And again, we thank you. Okay, having said that, we're going to open up for questions about Hard Rock and the Hard Rock development, anything that you heard. Mr. Goodman.
It's not a question. I want to thank you for appointing a person, number one, for the community affairs. When the casinos first came to Atlantic City, to get the licensing and to come into everybody had a community. Now, Alcade from Valleys.
From Caesars.
Yeah. Yeah, Alcade from Caesars, no, but I'm saying from Valleys.
Right. Regina
Gillian. So and they were involved in the community. Somehow that position got eradicated. You didn't even have a position in that. So for you to put the word community and make it a vice president, that's important. And step 2, you made it a person of color that relates in the community. And I'm not one that blows smoke up I understand, but that is a big, huge plus. I want you to know that, and obviously I want to touch base with my kids at the NAACP Youth Council. So I applaud you for how you've come in and made that decision. And we've been trying to get others to come on board, but that you labeled that man, the vice president, gave him a title of VP, and then made community. That says a lot, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Do you want to respond?
I can take the
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, sir.
Anybody else? Yes.
I think he wants you to respond to that, man.
Oh, I'm going to respond. There's no doubt. Thank you.
Okay.
My question will be
Sorry, go
bouncing off of his question. As far as the community, like you said, you see a lot of the casinos come and they close down and they say they for the community. Being a resident, leaving out, going to California to run my business and coming back, each year my business come back, I wanted to know how can not only this stay, but how can the community also help within the Hard Rock to keep this going and making sure that the community benefit as well?
Wow, that's a great question.
That's a
if
good
you don't mind.
question.
That's a great question. I think that one of the things is that we're doing, it's pretty clear to me, and I hope it's clear to everybody else, that we're really reaching out and trying to get community members to be a part of our organization at a jobs level. And I think that that's something that's important. So I think once that's done, that there's going to be that automatic back and forth that looks like it's already starting to occur. So I think that's part of it. The support that we've received to date from the community, from yourselves, from the people that we're dealing with on a regular basis has been really, really good. We've heard it a number of times that you guys aren't just talking the talk, you're walking the walk, and take that as a compliment. So thanks to the gentleman that had the kind words about Rob. That was an obvious choice, and it's a position that I've dealt with in the past, and it's a position I think has a lot of value to the community, but also to the organization. So thank you for your words. Sir.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, sir.
Carol. Before you ask a question, Carol, I just wanted to recognize my colleague, Councilman Randolph, who's councilman in the First Ward. He's here. Go ahead, Carol. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I said when we met earlier, that I'm Carol Ruffio, president of Chelsea Neighborhood Association. And I want to let you also know that Libby Wills is here, who is president of the First Ward Civic Association. So we have 5 civic associations in the city. The 6th Ward is the largest. I mean, Chelsea Neighborhood is the largest because we are the 5th and 6th Ward. And we also have a organization that is the Civic Associations of Atlantic City United. So we find that whatever goes on in the different civic associations across the city, it pretty much happens in all of them in different ways, sort of.
Sure.
But when there's something major that comes along, then we all get together as the civic associations, and we are the leaders to come up with whatever results that we need. And Charlie Goodman left, but he was instrumental in putting together the petition drive to save the MUA. And when it was time to go out and get the petition signed, we, the members of the Civic Association, the leaders, got the petitioners to go out and work as a group. So we're very involved in the community, and we welcome you, and we look forward to working with you for whatever you need help
Thank you.
in the community.
And
with regards to Stockton, we've had Stockton come to our Civic Association meetings, and they give us ongoing updates like every 6 months or whatever, and they bring their PowerPoint and everything, so they've been wonderful to work with since they started.
That's great to hear, and I will thank you, ladies, for what you're doing, because that kind of outreach means a lot in the community when the business owners and the residents get involved in those kinds of associations, and I think that brings value to what goes on here, and as one of his first duties, I'll have him talk to you once we're done with the meeting. We look forward to it.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say, first of all, I want to say thank you, Mr. Zangoli, because when we were doing 48 blocks, we had a lot up in the First Ward that needed cleaning, and he was instrumental in helping to get that lot cleaned for us, so it was nice on New Hampshire Avenue when we had the 48 blocks. The other thing that I want to say is to echo a little bit what Carol said. I'm hoping you're open to coming to our board meetings, okay?
Yes.
So we'll be getting in touch.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's good.
I don't want to take over your meeting.
No, that's good. You're doing good. Sure? Does anyone else have a question related to Hard Rock? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Latoya Dustin, and I wear many hats here in Atlantic City in the community. The president of the Scattered Sites Tenant Association with Housing Authority. Also have my own nonprofit youth organization, and also work for a nonprofit agency here that just built the school, the Gateway Project, Gateway School here with the youth. And in all those capacities, I'm a family advocate, which is pretty much social worker, and in all of those, I'm the driving force for the community to get them the help and the resources that they need. And first, I want to thank Hard Rock as well as Zangoli and Rob Lee for reaching out and helping with the drill team. But I just want to know, in the aspect of the Hard Rock, how can we build that relationship with the Housing Authority, the Gateway School, as well as my own organization? Because in the daytime I do this, and then in the night I'm with the youth, and it is a lack as far as getting them the training and the resources as far as for jobs. in the casino industry, or as well as in the construction industry. And the people that I represent are pretty much, I call the forgotten ones. They're the ones who don't know where to go, or you don't know where to find them at, because they're the ones all scattered over in this troubled community, and they're afraid to stand up. So my job is to stand up and be the voice and speak for them and find out what I can do to help them. Because whether they visit me at the school, or they visit me at the housing authority, or they visit me the drill team, they always come and look for myself as well as Carla for answers to where they can go, how they can help. And I know a lot of times we have these programs, and I'm so grateful for the opiate program and the drug court. Like that touched a lot, because a lot of our residents suffer with these illnesses. But is it anything within these industries that we can do with the youth to help bring them up, to get them ready for these positions and these jobs? Because one thing we are doing is training them to become self-sufficient, but what can we do for the youth to save them?
What age are you talking?
Well, I have them from 5 to 25, but whatever age.
You're 100% right. And we have to start at younger ages. And we also have to get the word out to the young people in this community that you're wanted. You're wanted by the Hard Rock. You're wanted by our industry. And not only that, but you're needed. Robert Lee and my friend Kareem Muhammad, our coworker, I just wanted to recognize Kareem, because as Robert's leaving Jingoli Construction to go to the Hard Rock, it's a big loss for us. He's been running this program. We together have built it over the years, and so Kareem Muhammad and Connor Palladino will be picking up the torch and working with me on all our endeavors in other states, because this one is so big. And Matt Harkness identified this as you know, this is where we dig in and we can make a difference. To answer your question, we have the Live Boys and Girls Club class. That is one night a week, where if a young man or a young woman show up regularly, we teach them about our industry, about what we're building, and then we work with them to place them in jobs in our industry. One of the things that came out of that class for Robert and Kareem and myself that was overwhelming was the young people, and we've known them for years, and some of them work for us now in different endeavors, when the Hard Rock, with the tremendous support of the Seminole Nation and my partner Jack Morrison, we bought the old Taj Mahal and turned it into the Hard Rock. I asked them, I said, aren't you guys excited? And I know these young men and women for a while, and they said, we don't really work there. We don't work in the industry. I'm like, what do you mean? It's an industry town. Why not? Well, we don't feel wanted. We don't feel like there's an opening there for us, and that's when we went back. So we have programs we're putting in place. Robert Lee will be rolling these out. That's why he needs to be here full time. We're going to be doing public service announcements with our artists, and we have a few that I'm not allowed to mention right yet, which I'm dying to. But they'll be doing public service announcements when they come to perform at our hotel, which is, it's really good to have a job. It is really cool to make a living, and we want you. And I can tell you the public service announcements that we are doing, it is we want you to come work with us at the Hard Rock. And that is targeted at those young people that live in our community here. We want to open the walls of our casino and become part of and reach out to our community. And that there needs to be programs like this. We will be successful when there doesn't need to be programs like this. That when these young people, these young men and women say, I'm going to go to work there, and I know that's where I want to go to work. Jim Allen, our CEO, and also, he grew up here. I mean, this is his home. Said you got to start even younger. So Robert will be working on programs with the Hard Rock, with full support of the Seminole Nation, who has backed us completely in this, to start classes at Atlantic City High at a much younger age group, and get them to identify My nephew's been following me around since he was old enough to do that. So he knew where he was going to go to work. I did that with my dad. I could tell you that numerous times in the course of my life, I did not make a really bad decision because I knew I had something in front of me. And that is what our job is to do here in Atlantic City. And what we have found in Atlantic City and Camden and Newark and Detroit and in the Bahamas and in many of the places, Los Angeles, Albany, Georgia, where we've been on this journey together, when you put that in front of young men and women, you give them support, you give them mentorship, you find really good employees. And that's what makes a company. So thank you for your question, and that's why we're here. You cut?
I just want to say, anytime I hear a meeting, I try to be at every meeting. And every meeting that you spoke at, Mr. Njigoli, you've always said, come work with me and not for me. Mm-hmm. And that means a lot, because a lot of people come work for me. No, you want us to work with you to make it happen and not for you. And I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
One more commercial before I ask some questions. The NAACP, we want you to know that we recognize Latoya Dunston, and on April 28th at our Freedom Fund breakfast, we're going to present her with a special community award So for those of you who are so inclined, that's April 28th, I have tickets. We want you to come and see her and others in the community too who are working hard. Anyone else with a question for Hard Rock? It's only 12:26, so we have time. Bill. Matt?
We're talking about the summer. We haven't committed to a day yet. It'll definitely be in the summer.
Okay, summer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone else with a question for Hard Rock? I want to recognize our council president, Marty Small, who came in. Thank him. Those of you know, one of the council tasks is to be the redevelopment agents for the city of Atlantic City, and we are functioning, I would say, if I have to rate us quite well, we are interacting in a positive way with the business community, in a positive way with the state. We have our acting director back there, Ben Kaufman, who is also an attorney, so we don't hold that against him, but he helps us make sure that we stay moving forward. That's what our theme is, that Atlantic City is moving forward. Anyone else with a question for Hard Rock? Got a compliant audience, man.
That's right.
Okay, did somebody want to talk about this?
Sure.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yep. This is a rendering you may have seen before. This is the front of the building. This is the porte-cochere coming in. That is a 60-foot tall guitar. We're hiring Paul Bunyan to play it. But you can see it's going to be a completely different look. This is just the exterior, just part of the exterior. Completely different than what it looked like before. The onions are gone, all the Trump Taj Mahal stuff is gone, and this is a completely new and different look. So this gives you an idea. We're not quite ready to show renderings of the inside yet. We'll be doing that in the future, but right now we're keeping it to the outside of the building, and that's actually, my office is like right there, so I get to look out and see this being built, and it's pretty cool. It's moving along every day. And to answer your question, we will, in the very near future, be announcing an opening date, but we're not prepared to do that right now.
Matt, we're having employee fairs, right?
Oh, yeah. We are doing job fairs. Those people that are interested in applying for positions, please go online. That's the process. Apply online for a position you're interested in. If you don't see it up there yet, it might not be posted yet, but pretty much all of them are. There is a process going through with the application online. Then there is a job fair. They go, and it's basically a group interview process, and that gets down to a smaller interview. It is a process, but it's a very good process for us to identify people who are going to be good service providers, and that's really what we're looking for.
What about contracts? Outside contract, will they be able to do outside contract for people that run businesses within Atlantic City or outside?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, the question is about outside contractors, people that have businesses. We definitely want to do business with people in the community. That's part of what we want to do, and we've actually had people that have reached out to us, and we've, as much as we can at this point, a lot of it right now is, quite frankly, construction. I mean, that's kind of what's happening as we speak. But as we go forward, that is something we are definitely interested in being a part of.
Mr. Young has a question.
So, and part of my job would be to identify those local businesses and try to match them up to what we have going on in Hard Rock. So once we're able to identify that, then I will be meeting with you. I got your number, and whatever any other small business or small business event that may happen here in the city to discuss the availability.
You need to go into the Chamber of Commerce meetings.
Correct.
I think, so, yeah.
Yes. Mr. Young?
Hey, Steve.
Hey.
Can you explain the love all, serve all concept that you have and how that relates to businesses as well as the community?
Absolutely. That's a great question. Thank you, Mr. Young. I met Steve when I was sitting box at a craps game back in the early 1980s, and he was the dealer. That's how I've known this gentleman that long. I saw him for the first time in July. He looked at me and says, "Wow, you got old." What I will tell you is that is a slogan, a motto, whatever you want to call it for Hard Rock, but it's not just something that is a feel good. It's a real thing. Love all, serve all. It really exemplifies what the brand's about, which is not just being a corporation, but being part of the community. So we're here to serve. Service is what we do. It's a hospitality business, but love the community, love the people. It sounds maybe not, kind of corny, but it's not. It's real. So I hope that answers your question, Steve.
It's a good question.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to ask Council President Small to make brief remarks, then we'll continue. Council President.
Well, it's safe to say that I might be just the council president in name only because I told him I didn't want to speak, so he's forcing me. But, we'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. It's definitely exciting times in Atlantic City with this reputable company coming here, providing jobs, providing opportunities for our local residents. Me personally, it's a neighbor as it's located in the 2nd Ward and down the street from me. And, we just look forward to the many exciting things that this place is going to bring to the town. One thing we can say that they're going to bring new people in the industry, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's called a book, and y'all have a book as y'all have properties worldwide that y'all can send people to this great city. Yep. And we just look forward to partnering on many community initiatives that benefit our community, and we're just excited here in the city of Atlantic City.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Joe, I'm still doing penance because the Eagles won the Super Bowl, so that's why I have to keep deferring to our council president. No, but thank you, Council President, for those remarks. We're going to, now if there are no more questions, we're going to, oh, yes, Carl.
I'm sorry, Carla Thomas. I just want to give you some positive feedback. Some of our parents came back to us, LaToya and I, who have went to just through the interviewing process.
Job fair, yep.
And they said the interviewing process is like one of the best processes ever. With the music, and they felt very comfortable. So I just want to say, just keep up the good work.
Thank
and, you. Making our community proud of you guys.
Thank you. It is definitely a unique experience with the job fairs. It's very upbeat. It has a lot of energy, and we're looking for that in the people that we're hiring. So, yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Kelly Flocka. I'm with Masterpiece Advertising, and I'm proud to say Atlantic City's home for me as a small business for 25 years. And I've had the pleasure of knowing Joe a little bit longer than 25 years, and Jim Allen, and now adopted Joe's nephew and worked with Matt and Albert. And these guys truly are the real deal. We are so blessed to have Hard Rock and Joe and Jim and Jack in our town. I'm just going to say thank you. We're grateful. Say, I can attest to that fact that they're really good people, and God, we are blessed.
Thank you. Thank you, Phyllis. Just want to remind you before we close out, Wednesday, April 25th, which is the last Wednesday in this month coming, we're going to have Wasim Bore, who is the developer of the beach at South Inlet. And if you're looking for a place to stay, I would suggest that you come and hear him. If you know of someone who's looking for a place to stay, I would suggest that you come and hear him. It's 80% market rent, 20% affordable. It's going to be near you guys, and it's part of the revitalized Atlantic City. We're going to hear from Joe Gengoli, Matt, and Rob in that order, and then we'll close out. Joe?
Just really want to thank everybody for coming. Community meetings are really important for us, for you to get to know us, and us to hear what your needs are on a personal level, and to hear what's working, and also to hear what's not. And we are open to change, and we are teachable, and that's how we want to stay. And it is just really neat for me every time I get to say the Hard Rock Atlantic City. You know, it's just, I love saying that, so give me another chance to do it. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Councilman, for putting this together for us to come here. It is much appreciated. What I'll tell you, when you do these kinds of events and you get in front of a group and you say questions, you never really know what kind of a question you're going to get, and the positive comments you guys made and the questions you had were really very humbling and much appreciated. Thank you.
So I'm going to, if you have a pen and piece of paper, give everybody my phone number.
Oh, good. Well, here you go. I'm applauding that.
And that's how real this is. Some of you, already have it, but you know, we're going to be a part of this community. 609-213-3146.
And that's his real number.
Yes, it is. You can call it now. It'll start ringing. 3146. Yes.
Wayne, that's not for the media, Wayne.
Lee. That's okay.
Rob Lee.
Robert Lee. Yes. No, I'm not.
No.
Far from it. Yeah. My middle initial is K. Robert K. Lee. Yes.
I didn't see that coming.
That's the first time we heard
Yeah, sure.
So other than that, again, thank you. Thanks to the council members for having us, and you'll see us again soon.
Thank you all.